Hi everyone, welcome to part 6 of this exciting series and this popular series that we're doing, 5 Excel tricks you need to know. In this video we're going to discuss 5 vital Excel tricks everybody needs up their sleeve, so stay tuned for each and every trick that we are going to discuss. And if you haven't watched parts 1 to 5, please make sure you do so on our YouTube channel. I will also include the links to those videos in the description down below. So make sure you do not miss those previous videos. But let's jump right in. So our first trick that we are going to discuss today is actually something that came up in the comment section of part 5 of the series. And it was noted that there is an easier way to display your formulas in Microsoft Excel. And as I said in the comment section, that is one of the methods that you can use. We are going to try and show you all of the possible methods that you can use in Microsoft Excel. So please note, if we show you tips and tricks in Excel, it is a possibility of how you can approach a problem. It is not the only option that you have. You can experiment in Microsoft Excel and find easier ways to do stuff. But we will try and bring you all of the options possible to approach a problem. So if you haven't watched this formulas in section that we're doing today in part 5, please make sure you go and check out that video for another possible solution to this problem. But to get back to today's problem, so we've got our little table here and we've got our data, and we want to enter our formulas in Microsoft Excel. So the one way that everybody would probably do this is to type in your formula and you reference back to cells. And this can be confusing for someone that does not know Microsoft Excel. So once they click on, let's say, your profit, and they click on this section, they will see that this formula with a bunch of referenced cells, and they might not understand this. So to simplify this, we are going to show you a way that you can approach this so that anybody that gets into your Microsoft Excel sheet can exactly know what is going on in your formulas. So to do this, we are going to select our data in our small little table here, and we are going to head over to the Insert tab at the top of our ribbon. Once you've clicked there, we will then click in our table section of our ribbon. We will click on Table. This little pop-up will appear that displays create a table and where is the data for your table. So we can simply select our range that we want to include in our table and we can select OK. So you'll see there is a change in the look of your table as set up, but now it is to simplify this. You can then just type in your formulas. So let's reference to the cell again, and you will see we've got the number of items sold instead of the cell reference. So this is a great method, and thanks for pointing this out. It's a crucial thing to note that there are a bunch of options that you can do, and this is a great option. So then you can type out your formula as we've done before. We can then reference to our cells, and at the end of the day you can still see your formulas displayed in your table. So if I click OK here, you'll see it automatically fills the rest of our table. But once somebody enters this sheet and they want to know how you calculated this profit, they can simply click on the cell and find the relevant formula and how it is set out. So this is a great trick that you can use. I know it's not exactly a trick, but I just wanted to touch this topic as it was discussed in part 5 of this video. So I hope you enjoyed this method of how to display your formulas in Microsoft Excel. So our next trick that we are going to discuss is how to insert a scroll bar into Microsoft Excel. So to start off this, I'm simply going to copy and paste my headings of my table over to this side, and from here, once you've done that, you can head into your developer tab at the top of your ribbon. If you don't have the developer set up in your ribbon, you can then just right click on your ribbon and you can head over to customize your ribbon. Once that is done, this pop-up window will appear and you can scroll down on the right hand side and insert your developer section over here. So you can simply check that checkbox over there and you can just hit OK. So now that our developer tab is inserted at the top of our ribbon, we can head over to that, we can select our developer tab, and we can head in the control section of that, we can head over to insert. Once you click there, you can simply select the scroll bar option that is displayed there, and we can insert the scroll bar. So you'll see we've got this little cross on our sheet, and so this is to simply drag your area that you want your scroll bar in. So you can create the scroll bar as big or as small as Excel will let you, but we're just going to select, let's just do a section like this, and you'll see we have our scroll bar inserted into this section. So from here, I'm going to right click on my scroll bar and head over to Format Control. So this section, this pop-up window will appear, and in this control section of this window, you can change your values. So I'm going to change my maximum value. I'm just going to change it to 10, and I'm going to change my page change to 5. So you can play around with this. This doesn't matter. You can play around with your maximum values, even your incremental change, and your page change as you would like. But to finish up our scroll bar, I'm going to head over to the cell link section, and I'm going to link our cell on the left hand side of our table. So as you can see there, we've linked the cell on this side, and I'm simply going to press OK. So once you've done that, you will want to type in the following formula in your formula bar. So we're going to type in the equal sign, and we're going to type in offset. And your reference for your offset is going to be the first name in your section, in your original table on your left hand side, and then your rows. Once you delimit this with a comma, Excel will ask you for your rows, and this section then reference back to this linked cell. And you want to change the format of that, you can type F4 to change the format of this, and we want the format to look something like this. From there, we'll delimit with a comma again, and we'll type in our columns is going to be 0, our height be 1, and our width is going to be 1. So now that our formula is typed in, we can close our bracket and hit enter. So once you've done that, we can simply drag over our formula to this section, and you can select both of these cells and drag your section down. And you can do this as far as you would like. I'm just going to stop here on our page, and once we've done that, our scroll bar will now be working. So you can see we've got a bunch of zeros at the bottom here. So this simply indicates that we can just remove the formula from this section, and because we do not have a list of names that is that long, but from this your scroll bar will work. So if you want to edit your scroll bar, you can simply right click on your scroll bar and this section will pop up. So I'm just going to just decrease my scroll bar, and now you can see we've got this working scroll bar that you can search for anything that you would like from this original section. So this is a great trick that you can use, and I hope this is really helpful to you. So our next trick that we are going to discuss is how to insert a search box into Microsoft Excel. And if you've enjoyed this video so far, please remember to like this video down below, as it really helps the YouTube algorithm get this video out to more people. But to get back to our search box, and in order to insert a search box into Excel, we need our developer tab at the top of our ribbon set up. And if you do not have this set up yet, please just scroll back a bit into this video. We've discussed this in our scroll bar video section that we've done to set up our developer tab. So I'm going to click on the developer tab, and in the controls section of this, I'm going to head to insert. So I'm going to insert now my text box. So you can scroll down and you can select your text box from here. Now we can simply drag our text box to the size that we want and to where we want this text box situated in our Excel sheet. And once you've done that, you can see our search boxes here, but we are not done there as of yet. So I'm going to right click on this text box, and I'm going to head down to the properties section here, and this pop-up window will appear. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to search for the linked cell section here, and we want to link a cell to this search box. So in our case, we want to link cell B2 to our search box. And once you've done that, I'm going to close the property section here, and now you can see once we select our search box, this just moves our search box around. So we need to deselect our design mode in our developer section here. So once you deselect your design mode, you can see now we can start to type in anything into our search box. So now that your search box is set up, once you type in anything, let's type in, for instance, the name John, you can see we do not have any results here. We do not have anything that is done through this search box. So we are going to use conditional formatting to set up the rest of this solution. So I'm going to head back to our home section, and in this, from here, I'm going to select my data set here, and from there I'm going to head over to the styles section in our home ribbon to the conditional formatting, and from this I'm going to head down and create a new rule. So once you selected that, you'll see the new formatting rule section pop up here, and there are a bunch of options that you can follow here, but we are going to head down to use a formula to determine which cells to format. And in this, we need to type out our formula that we are going to use. So this is quite simple. You're going to type in the equal sign, and then first off, we want our referenced cell to our text box. So in our case, this is B2, and we want the format of this to look something like this. So in order to change this format of your section, you can simply click on your F4 key on your keyboard, and you can see the format is changed from there. So now that we've got our referenced cell, we need to compare this referenced cell to something in our table. And now we're going to type in an equal sign, and we are going to type in reference to our cell number A4. So as you can see, our format of the cell looks something like this. We want to change our format for this to this format. And this effectively shows us that we are going to stay in column A, but we will be running through our rows in this section to determine the format of every cell from there. So once our formula is done here, we can head over to the format section to format this further. So our format cells pop-up window will appear, and I'm simply going to, you can do a bunch of options from here, but I'm going to make my font a bold font, and let's fill our cell with something like this green color. And once you press OK, you will be able to see a preview of the cell that will be highlighted here. So once your formula is complete, you can then simply press OK, and then your conditional formatting, the first step of your conditional formatting is done. But as we can see here, we've got a lot of cells that are highlighted. So let's try this out. So if we type in John, you can see our cells are highlighted at the wrong place. So to then change this, so that something went wrong in our formula, so I'm just going to head to conditional formatting, and I'm going to go down to manage our rules. And this pop-up window will appear. I'm going to select this worksheet at the top here, and you can see our cells that our rule that was applicable here. So we've got our rule here, and you can see this section of our rule just went haywire. So I'm going to edit this rule and remove this redundant numbers at the back here. So this referenced to the wrong cell. So I'm going to change this to A4, our first cell in our little column here. And from here, I'm going to press OK. So once I've done that, I'm simply going to press apply. And now you can see, let's press OK from there. And you can see now the right name has been highlighted. So I know Excel can sometimes throw out these formulas, but don't worry, just head over to manage your rules that we've set up, and you can change and edit the rules from there. So as you can see here, we can type in any details and the relevant cells will be highlighted. But just to show you guys, we can type in, let's do the last name, and you can see nothing is highlighted. So the rule that we set up is only going to search in our first column that we've done there. So let's just head back to our manage rules section. Let's select this worksheet. You can see from this rule, we have only used our referenced cell is equal to our column A and all of the relevant rows under that. So from this, I'm simply going to duplicate my rule here, and let's do 3 rules here. And now I'm going to edit these rules. So I'm simply going to change the A to a B in that rule, and from this other rule, let's change this to C. So now that we've got 3 rules set up in our section here, once you hit apply and then OK, you can see now our last name is actually highlighted. So to change this, we've added rules so that our highlighted text is applicable across our little table here. So now we can even enter our job titles. Let's type in our analysts, and you can see everything is highlighted from there. So this is a great trick that you can use if we, for instance, let's just head back to our manage rules to explain this better. So from here, you can see from our initial rule, we only had the search option and our formatting according to our first column. So we've set up a bunch of rules from there, but it's an easy process just to duplicate the rules in order to get these rules across our search box. So now you can search anything in this search box and it will highlight the relevant information. So if you type in something that is not found in your table, you'll see nothing is highlighted. But once you type in, for example, then again, our names, you can see every party that is responsible from here. Our next trick that we are going to discuss is how to use custom formatting to your advantage. So as you can see on the screen here, we've got a couple of students with their marks, and we have displayed this message, accepted or rejected. And this works perfectly, this custom formatting, and you can play around with your words or your colors to get exactly what you would like. And in this example, we'll show you the basics of how to use custom formatting to your advantage. So let's jump right into this example. So this is our desired result that we want to achieve. So I'm just going to, let's just copy and paste the students over to this side so I can show you exactly how we have done this problem. So in this section, we are going to refer back to this cell. And from this, let's just autofill this section there. So you'll see this effectively is the same value as displayed on this side. But in this section, we want to display our message, as you can see from this example. So to do this, we've referenced back to the cell, and now we will head over in our home ribbon to our numbers section in our ribbon, and we will click on the general section. Our drop down will appear, and we will move down to more number formats. So once you've done more number formats, your pop-up window will appear, and you can then see where you can format your cells to what you would like. So these are some predetermined things that are set into Microsoft Excel, but we are going to head down to our custom formatting at the bottom here. And once you are in there, we are going to type in this section our new custom formatting that we want to enter. So we're going to start off with a block bracket, and we're going to type out our color green. And we're going to close that bracket, and then in another block bracket we are going to set our minimum requirement to get our accepted message. So from this, we want our minimum to be 70 or more, then you will receive the message accepted. So once you close that block bracket, I'm going to put in a /, and then I am going to type the following keys on my keyboard to get this pop-up to appear. So I'm going to use this tick mark in my message that we want to display, and from here I'm going to, in double quotes, type out accepted. So now you can see the first part of this condition, this custom formatting. So we've got our color green here. You can change this color. You can change your minimum requirement, as you can see here. And at the back of your /, you can type out your text message that you want to display. So we've gone for a tick mark, and in the double quotes, we have entered the accepted text. So now to do the other end of this, so I'm going to delimit this with a comma, and I'm going to type out our next section. So we're going to type out red in block brackets, and then in another block bracket, we are going to set our next requirement. So any marks below 70 will receive the next message. So once again, a /, and then these keys again. So it's the window key and point on your keyboard. So I'm going to put in our cross here, and then again in double quotes, we are going to type out rejected. And we're going to end our double quotes. And from this, you can now see when working with our student 1 and the marks that he has received, you can see the sample message that will be displayed, and it will be rejected. So once you lower these values, you will receive another outcome to this depending on your number value that you've got in this column. So now that we've got this formula, our custom formatting formula set up, we can simply press OK, and you can see how this reacts. So we can then simply just drag this through, and you will see we've got this custom formatting that displays this message. And you can use this for a bunch of options in Microsoft Excel. And I really hope this trick can help you in your future. Our last trick that we are going to discuss in this video today is how to form a bullet chart. And this is a great trick that you would like to know. So please stick to the end of this video so that you can see exactly what I mean. So as you can see, we've got our data here. This is just a simple example of how to show you how to implement this method. So we've got our lower values, our upper values, and then our actual and our target values. So to get your chart set up in Microsoft Excel, we will be selecting all of our data here. And as you can see, everything is highlighted. And now we will move over to the Insert tab at the top of our ribbon. So once you are there, in your charts section of this ribbon, we will head over to our column bar or our bar charts. So from this, we're going to do a 2D stacked column that we are going to insert into Excel. So once you click there, you'll see our chart is inserted, and now you can start working on your chart. So from here, I'm just going to remove my chart title, and now we can start to get into this. So I'm going to right click on this graph section, and I'm going to head over to change my chart type. And from here you will see your change your chart type section will appear, and there are a bunch of options for different types of charts that you can insert into Excel. But we are going to head down to the bottom to do a combination chart. So once I click on combination, you will see that we have our series names, and you can then select what type of chart you want to set up here. So for our lower value, we are going to use a stacked column, and for our upper value as well, if it's not selected already, you can just select your stacked column there and your actual value as well. And your actual value, we want to select our secondary axis on this side. So then our target value we can leave as a line for now. That does not matter. We'll attack that problem when we get there. But now we've got our 3 stacked column sections here, and now we can click OK. So once you are in this section, we want to click on our actual value columns, these gray areas, and we are going to right click on this and head to Format Data Series. So once I click on Format Data Series, this section on the right hand side will pop up, and from this we will increase our gap width. So you can increase this. Let me just show you. So 300, our gap width is a bit smaller, so let's just change this to 400, and you'll see our gap width has changed. And on our chart we can now see our lower values, our upper values, and our actual value all in one stacked column. So then I'm going to exit this, and from here we will be selecting our target value, and this is our line running through this section. And I'm also going to right click on this and head down to Format My Data Series. And from this I will head over to our fill and line section. I'm going to select in the line options here, I'm going to select no line from there, but then I'm going to head over to our marker section. Once you click there, let's just expand our marker options here, and then we are going to click on built-in. So I'm going to use this built-in option, and now we can select the type of bullet that we want to use. So there are a bunch of options here. You can use squares, diamonds, whatever you would like. I'm just going to use this dash here, and I'm going to increase this size to, let's say, 20. So once I've done that, you can actually see our bullet mark here for our target value has been set up in our chart, and it looks starting to look great. So once you're done there, I'm going to close this section. for our format data. And now you can see our chart is starting to take some shape. So the last thing that we need to do is to get our secondary axis and our primary axis at the same values. So I'm going to click on my secondary axis, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to head down to format axis. So once you've selected that section, you can then put in your minimum or your maximum range that you want your axis to be on. So I'm just going to make this 160 because this is the same as our primary axis maximum value. So once I press enter, you'll see that this section is done. And this is our bullet chart. So from here, you can then change values for your actual values or even your target values. So once you change these, chart changes, and you can have this great chart that looks amazing and that will surprise anyone that looks at your Excel worksheets. So I hope this trick was helpful. I hope all of these tricks were helpful today. If they were, please remember to like the video down below and subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss any of our new content coming out soon. And also please comment down below which trick was your favorite, and if you have some interesting tricks of your own that you want to share with us, please type them in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, cheers.